Right now, 8 billion humans are alive on this planet, but there was a moment deep in our past when every ancestor you have could have fit inside a single small village, not as a figure of speech, only about 1,280 of them. For more than 100,000 years, that was all of us. Our entire future hung by a thread this thin, and you are only here because that thread never snapped. To understand how close it really was, we have to travel back about 900,000 years. This is long before modern humans ever existed. The creatures living then were not quite us yet. They were our ancestors, the single lineage that would one day branch into Neanderthals, Denisovans, and eventually you. They lived in small, wandering bands scattered across the warm, open land. They hunted, they gathered, and they raised their children under a familiar sun. For a very long time, life simply went on, and then the world began to change. The climate shifted, slowly at first, and then without mercy. The ice ages grew longer and far colder. The seas cooled, and the rains that once fed the land started to fail. Droughts stretched on, not for seasons, but for thousands of years. The green places shrank, the herds thinned, and food became harder and harder to find. And one by one, across the cold and emptying land, the bands of ancestors began to vanish. For most of history, we had no way of knowing any of this had ever happened. Then, in 2023, scientists found the evidence hidden inside us. A team analyzed the genomes of more than 3,000 living people. Using a new model, they rewound the human population back through time, and the numbers told a terrifying story. The population of our ancestors had crashed from around 100,000 down to roughly 1,280, a collapse of almost 99%. Out of every 100 of your ancestors, 98 were simply gone. And the most chilling part is what happened next. Nothing. The population did not recover. For around 117,000 years, the entire future of humanity was carried by that one tiny group. Generation after generation, the number barely moved. Every human who would ever be born had to pass through this single impossibly narrow gate. Scientists call it a bottleneck, and we very nearly never made it through. So how did roughly 1,000 individuals hold the line for over 100,000 years? Honestly, we are not completely sure. Perhaps they found a refuge, a pocket of land that stayed warm and green while the rest of the world turned hostile. Or perhaps their survival came down to the things that still define us today. Cooperation, sharing food when there was almost none to share, gathering close around a fire while the cold pressed in from every side, passing on everything they knew to the few children who lived. Whatever they did, it was just barely enough. And that brush with extinction never truly left us. It is still written into your body right now. Humans are one of the least genetically varied large animals on Earth. Two chimpanzee troops on the same hillside can hold more genetic difference than two people from opposite ends of the planet, and the reason is simple and a little haunting. We all squeeze through the very same tiny door. Some scientists believe the bottleneck did far more than just shrink us. They think the pressure of those desperate years may have reshaped our ancestors completely, possibly even accelerating the evolution of the human brain itself. But here is the part you will almost never hear. Not everyone is convinced this near extinction ever happened. The fossils scattered across the world do not show a clean, empty gap at this exact moment. Other scientists, using different methods, could not reproduce the crash at all. Some argue the whole event might be a statistical ghost, a shadow in the maths, rather than a real moment in time. The honest answer is that we have found a haunting signal buried in our genes, and we are still arguing about what created it. But even as a possibility, it changes something, because it means your existence was never guaranteed, you were never promised. Somewhere, in a cold and forgotten stretch of time, a small handful of beings carried the entire future of our species. They did not know they were carrying it. They had no idea that you or anyone like you was ever coming. They were simply trying to survive one more winter, and against almost impossible odds, just enough of them did. Every single person you have ever met is a descendant of those survivors. 8 billion of us, grown from a group that could once have vanished without a trace. You are not quite an accident. You are something far rarer. You are the long shot that paid off.